Today's Friday, June 20th. It's 9:20. The market's about to open. And let's just see what happened here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, pow. Look at this giant breakout. The stock breaks out right above this line, about 265-ish, goes all the way up to 300. That is one of the reasons why I love the cup and handle so much. It really is the ultimate chart pattern. And the cup and handle is the result of a stock that's had a monster prior uptrend. Then the stock goes into a major correction, and that correction creates the shape that looks like the side of a coffee cup with a little handle. So can you see that? If you were to look at a coffee cup or a teacup from the side with a handle, that's what it would look like. The stock goes into this correction. Now, the correction can be anywhere from 25 to 35% in steep market corrections. Sometimes you'll see individual stocks go down as much as 40 or even a little bit more than 40% before they start to really recover. And they start to recover and they get almost up to the high point, the highest point, the old high. And then they drift sideways for a few days. Now, why do you think they drift sideways for a few days? They drift sideways for a few days or even a couple weeks because all the people that rode the stock all the way up then watched it correct. And now it goes back almost to the old high and they say, oh my goodness, it's almost back to that old high. I need to get out of it now. I'm not missing my selling opportunity. And the weakest hands start selling the stock. And the smartest hands, the smart money, the big institutions, the guys who control hundreds of billions of dollars in the stock market, they just lick their chops waiting for all those weak players to get out before, boom, they jump all over it. And you can see in the handle area, the volume drifts down and it's very, very low. It's way below its average volume. So this stock's average volume is 1.7 million. And you can see a few days before, look how little the volume is before all of a sudden this monster volume spike comes in and the stock takes off, absolutely takes off. So this pattern needs to be at least 7 weeks long. If it's not 7 weeks long, it is prone to a false breakout and it might break out for a day or two and then come right back into the base. So just be aware of that. You want to see them at least 7 weeks long. They can be up to a year long. So there's a trick to buying these. If you can draw a trend line over the tops of the highs in the handle area, and you see the stock start to puncture that trend line and this huge volume come in, you can jump in early. So that's an easy breakouts tip where you can get into the stock a little bit early. So the reason I'm so excited about the cup and handle is because of stocks like Coinbase. Coinbase was setting up this awesome cup and handle here into the end of May. You can see this big cup form in Coinbase. You see all this volume on the right side of the cup. This is when the stock was added to the S&P 500, which is always a bullish thing by itself. And for me, on this cup and handle, the buy point would have been above this high right here on this day, which is 265.65. That would be my buy point. The handle, you can just draw it in. This is Monday. Now let's just scroll forward to Wednesday. Today's Friday, June 20th. It's 9:20. The market's about to open. And let's just see what happened here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, pow. Look at this giant breakout. The stock breaks out right above this line, about 265-ish, goes all the way up to 300. Now let's look at it on a 60-minute chart, a 1-hour chart. Now this is what a 1-hour chart looked like right before it broke out. So I'm just going to move through the hours here of trading. Here's the 16th. And you can see it starting to break out from, at least from this line, at 261.75, 261.80. Didn't really get above it, created that resistance point, and then boom, right here, right above this high here, which is at 265.65. This right here, 265.65. And look at this run. This is an amazing run. Now, if we look at it on a 5-minute chart, you can see the old resistance right in here. Either one of these would have been an incredible buy point. You see all that volume pouring into the stock, and the stock just shoots higher. That is one of the reasons why I love the cup and handle so much. It really is the ultimate chart pattern. So let me show you a few more using a different tool here. So I'm going to switch over to Market Surge. So here are some stocks. I'm just using a different tool here that are perfectly set up with a cup and handle. Here is Morgan Stanley. Excuse my drawing tool here. It is not perfect, but you can see the cup and the handle forming here. And the market's going to open in a few minutes, but above this high right here, 133.57, 133.03, that's when this stock is going to launch. Another stock that looks very good, AEM. This is a low cup and handle. It's a tight cup and handle. So if I can draw it in like this, above these highs, right in here. So the high on Tuesday, 125.17, 126.65. This stock's off to the races. Here is Acro Therapeutics, another wonderful cup and handle. You can either look to buy it. Are you seeing what I'm talking about here with this cup and handle? Here's your cup all the way up to here. There's your handle. Early buy point would be above the high 56.49 2 days ago, or above the high 57.07. This stock, you see all this volume down here and all this volume on the right side, very, very, very bullish. We can even take a look at one of the Mag 7 Meta here. This is also a very, very, very strong cup and handle. Now, you could argue the early buy point was this lower handle, and you want this handle to form in the upper half of the range of the right side of the cup. If it forms down here, doesn't really count. But it formed up here. Here was one buy point, really didn't have the volume. Now, if you draw it here, Meta gets above the highs from last week or so, 708.87. You could see Meta get up near the highs, possibly break out. Of course, we want to see that volume on a breakout. And this is why I know the cup and handle is the ultimate chart pattern. And I have 3 other patterns that to me are the ultimate 4 chart patterns. Call them the Fantastic Four. I just coined that right now, the Fantastic Four chart patterns. And that's what we're going to use. Looks like Meta just opened $700.75. Keep an eye on that today. And if you want to learn exactly how we trade stocks, get my ultimate guide to trading stocks. The link is in the description. And I'm going to teach you those 4. The Fantastic Four chart patterns are in there. Go check that out right now. I'm Eddie Z. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next stock video.